Hello, 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 hello. It's Sean Brady here with another fabulous podcast for the CCC, Connector Circles Conferences.
I'm excited.
I am here with the fabulous Mich Hancock, and I'm excited too.
I'm excited.
And what are you excited for, though? This conference is coming up in February, beginning of February.
Well, what, George?
George Slaughter.
Okay, he's like amazing.
He is amazing.
Right? And I think that, so getting together these people that, I mean, and really, when you look at the list of people that are going to be there, we all have kind of a different way of how we view networking and how we connect.
Yes.
So you are going to get to, I mean, for me, it's not like I went out and perfected my connection ways. I just am naturally one of those people,
right,
that just connect with people. But what I have learned over time after talking to other people is like, oh yeah, I do that way. Oh, that's how I approach things, which can help people that are maybe not as, I'm like a big ham. I'll just get in front of anybody. I'll talk to anybody. I love talking to people. I love learning about people. Not everybody likes that.
Not everybody likes what we do.
No.
Naturally.
Right. And you do it naturally, too.
I just do it.
You're
It's
right.
part of my natural personality.
But then you've also taken the time over the years to kind of be in awareness with yourself, right?
Yes.
And go, oh, that's how I do that, or that's why it happens. So when people say to me, how do you connect so easily with people? I've had to sit back and go, how do I do? And I think it's because I'm really authentic about things. I really, really do love people, and I love learning about what they do and what makes them tick and what is their passion, because I love watching people talk about their passion, because I get all like into it too. I'm like, oh my gosh, let me help you. I want to be a part of this, And I think that I definitely talk a lot about how important it is to have interactions more so than transactions.
Right.
So transactions are, you're at the store, you buy something, thanks, off you go, you've bought your thing, whatever. But interactions are, you're talking to the person behind the cash register.
Yeah.
And you're like interacting with them, and you're becoming a part of their world. And then every time you go back into that same store, it's like, cheers.
Yep.
It's Norm, this.
Brett Klein talked about this the other day, about transactional versus relational.
Yes.
And it's like, it's the... And, I always go back to my little thing is the experience.
Yes.
Right? It's like, what are we experiencing with those as a client, as a consumer, as a, whomever? It's that experience that draws us back.
Right.
And has us keep coming back.
And also, how nice is it to always walk into a place where you feel like, everybody knows your name, where you feel like everybody knows you anyway.
Right.
So you're going back again, and it becomes a much more enriching experience everywhere you go.
And that's what I think Connector Circle is bringing together, because there's people who maybe they haven't had a good experience with networking.
Right.
So now I know with George and Sean Hayes and a bunch of other people, as they come together, they've really created something neat. And I know George is putting this in his book, but one of the things I talked about was the idea of networking and dissecting that word.
Yes.
Instead of, think of it this way: you have the gross and the net. If you're doing the business, the more analytical side, not our necessary personality types.
Yeah.
But if we have the gross working,
right,
the stuff we don't really like to do.
Yeah.
But then
it's gross.
What is it's gross. And then if you believe in the Pareto principle, which 20%, 80%, 20% of your efforts are going to produce 80% of your results, that's where the networking comes in. So how do you do that in a way where it's relational and effective that translate in 80% of your transactional happiness? And
finding what way works for you. Because and so that's why it's so awesome to get a whole bunch of people together, so you can kind of, that part I like, that part I like, that part I see me doing, so you can kind of present your own networking personality, if you will. Like, how will I show up at networking?
Yes. And I know the Connector Circle conferences, because I get to see behind the scenes a little bit.
I haven't seen behind the scenes.
I've seen a little bit.
I'm going to show up and be on a panel.
Yeah. Well, that's part of it. And so some of the secrets are, it's not really a secret, but it's really creating and establishing best practices, so that people who know about networking are now following some of these best practices, instead of just, because we've all experienced it where it's like, here, have a card.
Right. No,
we don't like that.
Or just people that, the people, okay, I'm going to talk about the people that do annoy me.
Yes. Yeah, that's what this is for.
People that come that are like, hi, what do you do? And what do you do? And so, you know what? I could really help you with your business. Like right away, just jump in with selling to you. And you're like, can we just be friends first? I don't even know anything about you. And it's relational. So if you don't understand, and you may not know that, my accountant has been my friend forever, really not ever going to go away from my accountant. He was in my wedding. He's like my best friend. So it's kind of like, I love the other accountants out there, but this would be the person I'm going to turn to. You know what I mean? So
and pick the profession, right?
Yeah.
Your accountant, your attorney, your lawyer,
Your insurance person. Don't assume I need it. I mean, yes, everybody needs insurance. Everybody needs a mortgage. Everybody needs.
It's like,
we all
paint
need
the house,
those things,
whatever.
but I'm not going to just, shake hands and be like, I will buy one right now. Where do I sign?
Exactly.
And so it's learning how to be the people that are not annoying. That people, I'm sorry, but okay, so Matt DeRyan was on my podcast. Matt DeRyan was on my podcast yesterday, and he was talking about the feedback loop. And if you're not paying attention to, Sean went up and talked to that person and had a very long conversation with that person. And then I went up to talk to that person, and the person went running the other direction. What did I do wrong? So that feedback loop. So it's like, now I have to figure out why Sean could have this great conversation with that person after they just met, and yet they hung out with me for 2 minutes and were all of a sudden busy and had to go away.
Right. So
it's learning from as you're doing, what did I do wrong? And then asking people, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Talk to somebody you trust.
Yes. And you're just going to be one of the, 8 panelists?
There's a lot of panelists.
There's a lot of panels. I know we have 2 keynotes and 2 other things, and a lot of great panelists, so it'll be
Brian Goldman, I know, will be there from Northwest Chamber, which I love, and I work with his wife, Libby, works with me at 100 Monkey Media. And Virginia's going to be there. Virginia Mooskies is going to be there. Who else is going to be there?
Yes.
Why do I not know all the people? I noticed it the other day, and I got to look again.
There's a few people that I don't know directly, but then, of course, Dan Lewis.
And Art.
Art Snarza.
He's the keynote.
He's the keynote,
right.
Yep, and George as well.
Right.
Dan Lewigs.
I don't know that I know Dan.
Yeah, the insurance store. He's he's been around forever.
Everybody knows Dan.
Exactly. I do. And then Cynthia Carell. Cynthia.
Oh, I love her.
Yes, see?
Yes.
And then Brian Lunt.
Oh my gosh.
I know, right? So there's just a bunch of fabulous people
I love.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
This is really good.
And some of those people I mentioned, they'll all have a podcast as well.
All right, cool.
So give their take on it.
Awesome other people with podcasts.
It's just awesome stuff coming up, and we'll just create best practices, and it'll be a lot of fun.
And I read something that George wrote about, making networking it's like people say networking, they're like, ugh.
Yes.
We don't want it to be that way.
No.
And I can't think of a better word for it. So just, it's going to be networking for
I know,
right
we
now.
We could make up a different word, but it's...
But then that's what,
Right.
That's what people try to do. And
it's just transforming the conversation around what it is now to the 100th monkey concept of what we can take it into.
Yeah. I like it.
Perfect. Mich Hancock, thank you as always.
Thank you, Sean.
I can't wait to see you at the Connector Circle conferences.
I'm with you.
And even in the near future. So,
all right, dear, let's go to lunch.
Let's go to lunch.
Okay.
And everybody out there in social media land, we'll see you in social media. It could be on a podcast. It could be on the Facebook.
Yeah.
It's just all good.
It's all good.
I know.